We start out with cricket and Dale Smidt. Now, Dale's been involved in cricket for a long time and coaches at all sorts of levels. He also works for Hawke's Bay Cricket. G'day, Dale.
Yeah, good morning, Ross.
Welcome along. Thanks for coming out on such a grotty old day. How are you going with your coaching of young folk in sport? I was just saying to you off air, I just loved it when I was at school. Cricket was my favourite sport, and I just couldn't wait to get on the wickets, either batting or bowling. I wasn't much of a batsman. Bowling was my forte, really. Are you getting plenty of people coming through playing cricket at school level?
Yeah, I mean, in Hawke's Bay in particular, our numbers have grown the last 3 or 4 years. The pathway in cricket is quite clear and well mapped out.
That's very important, isn't it, nowadays, to have that well-defined pathway?
Yeah, and I might just cover that off. The 5-6-year-olds go to Milo Have a Go Cricket. It's a skill-based program, so the kids are taught the skills to play the game at that early age. They then graduate into a modified Kiwi cricket, which only lasts for about 70 minutes, but they get an opportunity to bat and bowl and wicket keep and learn all the other skills. Then primary school cricket, where they start using a harder ball and protective clothing, through into intermediate and secondary school cricket. Now, alongside that, we run a junior club competition in Hawke's Bay as well. Our 6 major clubs run age group sides from under 16s down, and the better players are identified out of that club competition and are selected for Hawke's Bay. We run eight junior rep sides in Hawke's Bay. They're all coached and trained on a regular basis. They go to Central Districts tournaments. Yeah, the better players get identified by Central Districts, and hopefully some of them make New Zealand age group sides. So.
Yes, indeed. So it is a very well-defined path. Now, back down at the younger age groups, you're not using a hard cricket ball at that stage?
No. Right through to probably 9 years old, they use what's called an Incrediball, which is just a soft plastic ball. So no protective clothing. We don't want young children hurt, obviously, so...
No. When I played at school, we couldn't afford proper bats, so we had to use an axe handle or a pick handle, I think they called it. The most cricket now would use a proper bat of different sizes.
Yeah, but even those kids at the younger age, it's even plastic bats they're using, so...
okay, so they're not using wooden bats down at the really younger ages?
No, it's just plastic bats, yeah.
And what are you teaching them? Just the basic skills of cricket at that age?
Yeah, the Milo cricket, which is the initial phase. Yeah, it's just the skills, teaching them how to keep a straight arm when they're bowling, the grip, the stance, just the basics of the game.
Yeah.
And remember, these once you've done that and you put the kids into a game or fun situation, all that goes out the window, of course, immediately. But you're sowing some seeds.
Yes. And then at primary school level, how does it move up a notch, as it were?
I think the clubs have done a lot. Basically, they should be identifying the best primary school intermediate kids in their catchment area. And then, as I said, that they play in a Hawke's Bay League. All the clubs have got coaches and they run practices on a regular basis. And that's really an ideal situation for Hawke's Bay coaches to pick the best players out of that competition. So... Further down the track, with some recommendations from myself and people in Hawke's Bay Cricket, Central Districts identify in Hawke's Bay between 10 and 20 young players every year. And they do some one-on-one stuff with me. They range in age from 14 to 18.
Yes. Do you notice a drop-off at that sort of 17, 18-year age group? Does cricket suffer from that?
Oh, absolutely. Secondary school cricket is our major worry at the moment.
Okay.
Huge drop-off, like all other codes.
Yes.
Young people, as they become more independent and they've got more choices, cricket obviously takes up a lot of time.
Do you think there's an answer? I know I've spoken to rugby and football and all sorts of codes. Do you have an answer for cricket?
We have got to mix the game up, and we're out there actually at the moment trying to promote modified versions of the games that not necessarily played traditionally on a Saturday afternoon, maybe a Wednesday afternoon, 2020 sort of stuff. The serious cricketers and the good cricketers will stay in the traditional form of the game, and they've always been very well looked after. But it's the ones that we want to keep in the game, who just want have a bit of a hit around with their mates.
Yeah.
And have a bit of fun. They're the ones we've got to capture, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Dale, great to have a chat with you. All the very best to the cricket in Hawke's Bay.
Yep, thanks very much, Ross. Cheers.
Hawke's Bay's Newstalk ZB. We continue our look at coaching mountain biking with Linda Smith in just a moment.